Hi Capricorn, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your January 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, source will be in front of us. The Celtic cross spread as always. And I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom and the oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start reading off by rolling those astrology guys we have in front of us to get an idea of where your folks should be as far as that goes. Okay, we have Jupiter, and Jupiter has actually been in Taurus for quite some time, but it's been retrograde for about the past 6 months or so. And at the very end of December, it's actually going to start direct motion again. So it's going to be direct all of January as well. And for you guys, that Taurus energy represents your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children. So you could see more luck and expansion around those areas of life. All right, we have Leo. And for you guys, Leo energy is your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. As far as Leo goes, we will have a full moon in Leo toward the end of January, so it makes sense to see that pop up in that regard. And we have 9. So 9th house energy for you guys is Virgo, and astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there now, but I do see some Virgo energy in your actual main spread too. And yeah, in general, 9th house points to philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs. So those energies out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. Okay, in the main situation position, we have the Knight of Cups, and challenging that, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So this is a Virgo energy here, and this is a Pisces energy. So what I feel like this is saying for most of you, though, I feel like this is saying you might have an offer coming your way. Now, it could be a romantic offer, of course, given that we do see Cup energy there, but even could just be around a creative project, you name it. But with the 8 of Pentacles here, I feel like this is saying that you're so wrapped up in your day-to-day work that you might not even really be aware of this offer coming your way. So it could just be one of those things that you might overlook at this time. Okay, in the foundation position, we have the 4 of Cups. So this is actually a Cancer energy here, which is your opposite sign, and this usually represents an energy of disappointment, right? And the frustration with this card is usually where we see, well, if this person's not necessarily happy with what's being offered, right, but at the same time they're not going after what they do want, then that could be a point of frustration, right, where they continue to get more of what they don't want. So for you guys, maybe that's a cycle that you found yourselves in the past, right, and that might be why you might have been working so hard. And at the same time, though, you might do it to the point where it distracts you from things going on outside of you. So where the thing that you might have wished for to come through for you might actually come through this month, but you could just be so wrapped up in other things that you could overlook it. All right, past energy, we have the 4 of Swords. So this is Libra energy here. So yeah, for some of you, this could have been around a career thing where you had some kind of a disappointment. So you might have even just decided to, let's just say a super generic example, maybe you weren't getting the level of fulfillment that you were hoping for within your career sector, right? So you might have just even decided that, you know what, let me just go into business for myself or something along those lines, right? And maybe it's brought you a certain level of fulfillment, but now you might actually get an offer similar to what you were looking for in the past, right? But at the same time, now you might just be so wrapped up in your own thing that you might not even notice that that's what's available to you. All right, in the present position, we have the Chariot. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that you might even feel like external judges in your energy that are kind of pushing you toward doing something a little bit differently than the norm, right? So maybe that's as far as new partnership offers coming your way, things along those lines. At the time of recording this, of course, we have Mercury retrograde in your sign. It's going to move into your 12th house soon. So yeah, there's plenty going on there as far as where you could be reevaluating things, right? Looking at things from a different perspective. But yeah, I feel like this is saying that overall, there's energy in your environment that's pushing you towards something new. But you could just be so wrapped up in your day-to-day that you might not really see those energies clearly at this time. All right, in the near future position, we have the Tower. So to me, this is more of probably pointing to what might happen, right? Because, like we said, it looks like there's going to be these gentle nudges coming your way initially, like, hey, Capricorn, here's this thing that you could tackle, right? And for whatever reason, like I said, it looks like you're just so wrapped up in day to day stuff that you're not really at the full level of awareness of these offers. So the tower might just come through in a more intense way to grab your energy, you know? So I feel like this really is something that you're meant to be taking on. So, you know, of course, you'd rather get the energy in a more calm way than the tower, like we see with the chariot. But that's just at least the potential at play. So that's why I feel like it's saying that, you know, if there's something that you've been putting off, just be mindful that eventually, if it's really meant to be on your path, the noise might really start to get louder. Like, hey, Capricorn, we're trying to get your attention here. All right. And in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Three of Wands. So yeah, so this is the interesting thing here, right? I'm seeing energies that tell me that this is probably something that you waited for a while, right? You hoped for it for a while as well. So, but yeah, I guess that maybe just part of you, the waiting might have seemed so long that part of you might have just given up on the thought of it actually coming your way, right? So that could be part of why you might be a little bit deaf to the energy around you actually bringing it to you. All right, in the environment position, we have the Eight of Cups. So yeah, more Pisces energy here, and another indicator, like I said, maybe this was something that you had your heart set on for a while, right? It seemed like it wasn't coming along, so for some of you might have already left the scene, like I said, thought that, oh, well, I guess it's just not going to happen, right? But if that's the case, it looks like now it actually is coming around. And I mean, obviously, the Mercury retrograde is one energy that could bring this dynamic into play. And then also, like I mentioned with Jupiter, right, where it was really moving slow for a while, and now it's going to be in direct motion again. So it could just be one of those things where things might have been held up for you guys for a while to the point where you might have thought, well, I guess it's just not going to happen. And then it might actually come like a jolt out of the blue. Like, oh, okay, all of a sudden, this opportunity I thought wasn't going to happen, here it is. Right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Magician. So yeah, another interesting dynamic here, which to me says that you've probably been hoping for that opportunity to come back around. So yeah, like I said, for a lot of you, this is just one of those things where I feel like ultimately what is going to be coming your way is something that you want. But again, like I said, you might have just convinced yourself because it might have been so long that, okay, this just isn't going to happen, right? Or you're just so wrapped up in other things that you might just miss those opportunities coming your way. But like I said, if that's the case, the positive there is it looks like you're not going to miss the opportunity because it's just going to get louder and louder until you pick up on it. But like we said, obviously you'd rather it come through in a more comfortable way. So on the positive end, at least you won't miss the opportunity. On the negative side is maybe it's going to come through in a bit more harsh, abrupt way than you expected. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, looks like a new opportunity for sure being offered to you this month. Now, of course, I always mention to people with the aces, right? They have that level of promise to them, right? But I always point out how we see a hand coming from the cloud, and then if you look at the background, compared to how we think of ace energies, the background looks very neutral, right? So it always represents an opportunity for something, but at the same time, there still needs to be action taken on that, right? So something to think about with that. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the World. So yeah, to me, this is that whatever this dynamic was, you were meant to be where you are now for a certain amount of time, right? So none of this seems like time wasted. But at the same time, I feel like it's saying, okay, you've been there, done that, learned a lesson. Hey, it's time for you to take on this new thing now, right? And like I said, using the term new a little bit loosely there because I feel like this is something that you've ultimately wanted for a while, but universal energies just might have decided at the time that you weren't necessarily ready for it, right? So it's one of those things where like, hey, I really want this thing. Maybe you just weren't ready for it. After a while, you're like, okay, well, I guess it's just not going to happen. And now the good thing there, if that's the case, you didn't just sit and hope about it. You started to at least do something in the meantime, right? And now it's like, okay, now it looks like the timing is right for that thing. And like I said, a lot of you just might not even have it in your awareness because you might have just given up hope that it was ever going to happen. All right. For your 4 agreements card, we have be impeccable with your word, and it says replace fear with love. Right? It says the human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. When you are impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for the words that come from fear. Your mind is only fertile for the words that come from love. So yeah, interesting message there. Fertile ground, seeds being planted, no longer fertile ground for words that come from fear, right? So yeah, like I said, maybe this is one of those things where this, again, like I said, I feel like this is something that you'd wanted for a while, but over time might have just felt like, oh, I guess it's just not going to happen, right? Kind of resign yourself to that, and now it looks like it is coming around, and then you just have to have that openness and awareness to it. And the planting seeds part sounds like a key visual way of looking at it there, right? Where you planted seeds 8 months ago for this thing, didn't see any sprouts coming out of the ground that tells you, hey, it's coming my way, and now all of a sudden, poof, there it is, right? So something to look out for this month. Moving on to your Wisdom Oracle card, we have Go the Distance. There's the artwork, and the number is 47. Okay, essential meanings says endurance, strength, the long haul. The Oracle's message: to bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. So interesting there where it says, what is yours will never be withheld from you. As far as, like I said, it looks like even if you're just totally oblivious to the opportunity coming back your way, which could lead to the Tower moment where, like we said, it's like the universe is really trying to get your attention. Like, hey, here's this opportunity you wanted. But to me, that's a good thing that says that, like I said, the main thing I was picking up on there was the positive here is it doesn't look like that's going to point to you missing the opportunity, but just more of it's going to really grab your attention in a more abrupt way if you miss the initial signs. The relationship message says you either are in or are going in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself, and are remade in new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well. And like we said, as far as the relationship dynamic, right? Initially, it didn't look like it may have been more of a one-to-one romantic relationship, but I could see how that might be the case as well. Right? Like I said, it looks like one of those things where maybe you just were thinking, oh, I guess this isn't going to happen, and shifted your focus to work, let's say, right now, all of a sudden, the opportunity you've been waiting for arrives. Or like it said, if you had some minor setback with this person, like we said with all the Mercury retrograde energy, right, people usually get really stressed out during the holidays and the end of the year anyway, so it could just be one of those things where there could be a momentary blip that might make you think that, oh, this thing isn't going the way I hoped, but then it could quickly get back on track. All right, and the prosperity message says your most precious dream is not about instant gratification, but enduring prosperity. This is a time to think long term and engage in continued action. You will experience momentum building as you translate the ebb and flow into slow and steady movement forward. Your efforts, ideas, and hard work now can lead to greater riches than you can imagine. Stoke the fire so that an uninterrupted stream of energy is available to support you in all the phases of manifestation. Be assured that you are in the right place right now. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. Where like I said, so another way to look at that is where I was saying you could just be so caught up in the zone with something else that this opportunity is trying to come your way. It might not even get your attention initially. Like I said, whatever the case may be, what I picked up on here as far as where you've been and where you might still be now, it looks like you were meant to be there. The World card made me think that, like, okay, you were supposed to be doing that. So, yeah, there was a reason why the opportunity hadn't come your way until now. But now that it is here, looks like it's really going to nudge you to take that opportunity. So, hoping it resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there. Once again, happy birthday. Hope you guys have a good holiday season and new year. And I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.